see that Greta Thunberg, or whatever her name is, did you see that she shared that photo of her sitting on the floor with all of her luggage on that train? And was talking about being on overcrowded trains and all that stuff, which, by the way, if the train was overcrowded, that means a lot of people are using public transportation, which should make her happy, okay? But beyond that, the train company initially apologized, and then they came back and they retracted their apology and said, we wish you would have also told them how great our staff was when they were taking care of you and all of your co-travelers in first class. Yeah, she was in first class. So a bunch of people were apparently shocked that a 16-year-old who lies for a living lied to them about the train. He predicted the end of the world last year, and he was wrong. He predicted it the year before, and he was wrong. And he predicted it the year before, and he was wrong too. But I still believe in him. That's what you climate fearmongers are. That's what you are. Never, not one prediction has ever come true. Not one. You are the same as that cult that believes that their leader every single year says they have the date of the end of the world, and so you put on your white shoes and you go hang out at some temple somewhere hoping for the spaceship to come by and pick you all up, okay? And it never happens. It never happens. And you still believe every single year. I forgot to carry the one. I had my math wrong. Darn it. Anyway, speaking of traveling, though, a recently retired U.S. Air Force Lieutenant General Stephen L. Quast gave a lecture last month that seems to further signal the next major battlefield will be outer space. Duh. Well, that's why I want the giant space laser. Okay, I've been calling for this for a long time. You don't have to worry about China and their satellites and stuff if you have a giant space laser. While military leadership rattling the space sabers is nothing new, Quast's lecture included comments that heavily hint at the possibility that the United States military and its industry partners may have already developed next-generation technologies that have the potential to drastically change the aerospace field and human civilization forever. For the record, yeah, I know things that are classified that I can't tell anybody. I'm sure that many of you know things that are classified that you can't tell anybody. You have not seen the peak of our technology that we have currently. I'm not talking about in development. I'm talking that is ready to go and ready to use, okay? You have not seen it. And I think that, no, I don't think, I know, your minds would be blown if you knew some of the stuff that some of us knew. And I didn't even have high clearance, for crying out loud. Is this mere posturing, or could we actually be on the verge of making science fiction a reality? Well, of course we are. It wasn't that, was it 10, 15 years ago that they actually transported an object with a transporter, like Star Trek? It just can't be organic. Can't do organic objects. So they're working on it, okay? And it was very small space, but they're working on that technology. And what's weird is that the one piece of technology that we probably think is the least likely to happen in the Star Trek realm is the one that is closest to being developed, which is transporters. Who would have thought? Yo.
I would argue warp speed is
well,
more.
That's the thing. They think that they've developed the something that would be similar to the warp field.
I have heard that.
Yeah, they think that they have it, but they haven't tested it yet. So they don't know if it's going to work, because the other one would be warp technology or something similar, like a slip drive or something. So they think that they may be pretty close. And last I heard, they're building the prototype now to test. So now who knows how long that's going to take. There's still all sorts of stuff that has to happen, but they think that they have it, at least for the infancy of it, to where it moves forward now. It's not going to be, we made a new engine and we're going to put it in planes and fight the Germans tomorrow. It's not like that, okay, because we don't do things that way anymore. But it's going to take a long time to do it. But they do. They actually think they have the formula. And I forget what they call it. I think it was a slip drive, but don't quote me on that. I'll have to double check. So anyway, according to this official, his USAF biography, Lieutenant General Quast graduated from the United States Air Force Academy with a degree in astronautical engineering. He also holds a master's degree in public policy from Harvard's Kennedy School of Government. He's previously served as commander of the 47th Operations Group at Laughlin Air Force Base and the 4th Fighter Wing at Seymour Johnson Air Force Base. Again, he's not a slouch, and he's not some crazy person in his parents' basement or something like that. Okay? Quast boasts more than 3,300 flight hours in an F-15E, a T-6, a T-37, T-38, and over 650 combat hours. Okay, this guy knows what he's doing. Now, that doesn't mean that he didn't lose his mind and go crazy somewhere, but I'm just saying he's a very smart man. He was a high-ranking member of the United States Air Force. He had clearance, and he's giving a lecture. Now, the reason that I'm bringing this up, I haven't told you what he said yet, okay? Because what he said is making people kind of freak out. Lieutenant General Quast most recently served as commander of the Air Education and Training Command at Joint Base San Antonio, but retired in August. Now, according to some reports, he was prematurely relieved of his duties at JBSA and blacklisted for promotion after speaking out on space-related issues despite a service-wide gag order. Okay, so the rumor is this guy was drummed out because he wouldn't shut up about stuff in spite of the fact that everybody said, we're not talking about this. Quast declined to comment on the reports, and he retired on September 1st of 2019. Despite the controversy surrounding his removal from his post, some defense analysts and Lieutenant General Quast's own supporters within the armed forces were suggesting prior to his retirement that he should be appointed as commander of the Pentagon's budding Space Force. So we're at a point now, we're talking about the guy who is many people thought should command the new Space Force, okay? Again, we're building up his resume. The whole point is for you to understand that he's not nuts, okay? So he delivered a lecture at Hillsdale College in Washington, D.C., whom you're all familiar with, on November 20th of 2019. It was titled The Urgent Need for a U.S. Space Force. Duh. Again, I've been saying this for years. Quast's wide-ranging speech described the power of new technologies to revolutionize humankind, referencing the competitive advantage the discovery of fire offered to early humans and the strategic value that nuclear weapons offer 20th century superpowers. When it comes to current revolutionary technologies, Quast says the, quote, the power of space will change world power forever, and that it's up to the United States military to leverage that power. Quote, as a historian, reflecting on the fact that throughout the history of mankind, technology has always changed world power, but the story of rejecting the new and holding and clinging to the paradigms of the past is why no civilization has ever lasted forever. And values are trumped by other values when another civilization figures out a way of finding a competitive advantage. The nature of power, you either have it and your values rule, or you do not have it and you must submit. We see that play out again and again in history, and it's playing out now. He's right. Now, here's where things get interesting. He says that we currently have the technology to transport a human being anywhere on Earth within an hour. That's right, Joe. Joe had to put his drink down, had a mid-swig. He says that we currently have technology that can transport a human being anywhere on Earth within an hour. I didn't make a veiled, unrelated reference to that old transporter technology, okay? You've got Elon Musk. He's building that hyperdrive thing. Hyperdrive is one of two competing technologies. There's another technology out there that does essentially the same thing. A lot of infrastructure is needed for that, okay? So a lot of people are looking at this and going, one, are you telling the truth? And two, were you allowed to tell us that? Okay, so I've got Speed Demon on the live stream is going space plane. What airplane has been up in space for several months, Joe? Or was up in space for several months, apparently has landed now. The Aurora aircraft, right? I'm throwing it at, now this doesn't mean that there's a beam, okay? He's just saying we have the ability to get you anywhere in the world in an hour. And that could very well mean getting up into space and then hopping back down again. Very interesting stuff. I'm going to put it's from thedrive.com. I'm going to put this full thing in your, no, I'm not doing the Daily Show Prep today. I'll post it on social media, okay? I'll post it on, because I'm too lazy to do Daily Show Prep today. Sorry. I'm in vacation mode already. But I will put it up on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/Casey the host. I will put it there in just a couple of minutes so you can read it for yourself. Very interesting stuff, what this guy has to say. And again, a lot of people felt that because he wouldn't shut up about space stuff, he was kind of drummed out of the military, even though a lot of people felt he should have been the one to take over Space Command when it was created. So this isn't some weirdo in a basement somewhere. This is a prominent former member of the military who only retired in September. And he seems to suggest, yeah, we got some technology out there that would blow your mind. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there. Let's see. I want to actually see if there's anything in this paragraph here. Yep. Oh, okay, here's the paragraph when he gave his lecture at Hillsdale. The technology is on the engineering benches today, but most Americans and most members of Congress have not had time to really look deeply at what is going on here. But I've had the benefit of 33 years of studying and becoming friends with these scientists. This technology can be built today with technology that is not developmental, meaning we have it, to deliver any human being from any place on Earth to any other place in less than an hour. That's the operative paragraph from the lecture. And like I said, a bunch of people are sitting there going, you allowed to tell us that? Or are you a liar? He doesn't seem like he's a liar, given his credentials, right? And then when you throw in there that some people say, yeah, he's drummed out of the military because he wouldn't shut up about space tech. Okay. Now, this could be, you know what he's doing, I think, Joe? He's doing what I do. He's throwing chairs. He's probably been trying to get stuff taken care of for a long time and nobody was listening to him, so then he throws a chair and then everybody gets mad. That's what happens to me a lot. I throw chairs and then all of a sudden something gets done and then everybody's mad at me for throwing chairs, but then I have to sit back and go, it got done. Sorry. But that's what it seems like he's doing to me. He's throwing chairs around. But isn't that interesting? So I'll leave this on Facebook. I'm going to post it up there. I'm going to post it up there here in just a second. We got more coming up. News Talk 95.3, Michiana's news channel.